3, 2, 1.
今夜もミュージック君へのラッキー笑い合って抱き合って幸せにほらなれるように
Welcome to the Anime Cypher Challenge. It's time for my verse.
Did you remember your intro you had to do?
No.
Welcome
You
to
need
the
to figure
Boomer
out.
Cast.
Yeah, you need to figure out like an actual intro we could do that. Like
Alright.
you come in, you're like, "Welcome to the
Well,
Weeb Club," where we talk about anime. Like, and
The
it
issue
sounds
is that
cool and
because on the Nen
professional.
show I do something different and then I go into the kind of normal thing.
Yeah, because you and
anyway.
Mathwas are a couple of fucking boomers.
I'm pretty sure Matthews is your guys' age, if not
Okay,
younger.
well,
Anyway,
Well, what's
again,
like a year and a half older than me or some shit? I think
Boomer is a mindset, not an age.
that's why he calls me a boomer, and I'm the youngest one in the Weeb Club.
Because you're a fucking boomer.
Fuck
Like,
you.
I'm mentally.
speaking of boomer anime, let's talk about characters who are literally in boomer time periods.
Woo. Okay. Are we?
so,
are we just gonna say now?
First
Yeah.
time,
All right, hold on.
yeah, re-recording. So we did already do an episode on the Sakamichi no Apollon
was
anime.
shit.
And also, the audio got fucked up.
It was shit.
And,
Yeah, it was probably-
Well, yeah, because you guys were fucking mad at each other about My
Yeah,
Hero
so
Academia and Black Clover.
we recorded
Or,
this-
excuse me,
Black Clover,
Mid Hero
Black Clover,
Academia
Black Clover.
and Mid Clover.
No,
Sorry.
you could-
I'm gonna kill you. I'm directing all of my rage. I'm joining forces with Vinny. We're gonna take you down.
Well, yeah. So we recorded this episode immediately after our first seasonal discussion, the first time we did it. Which, if you've seen that episode, you know that What and I get into like a 20-minute, 30-minute argument about Black Clover versus MHA. If you think Black Clover is better than My Hero Academia, I'm sorry, you're just blind.
Oh my goodness, Vindy's very angry about me having a right opinion.
Like, I'm sorry, dog. That's wrong. I'm sorry, bro. And it's everyone's favorite moment of the Weeb Club so far. And because of that, when
thought it
we
was
went
Burger
to
King now.
when we went to record this the first time right immediately after, What and I were still like about to kill each other. So I voiced a minor complaint I had with the show, and what was like, "What do you mean? That was good." And then we just started arguing for no reason, even though we kind of agreed. And it just wasn't a great episode. So
And yeah, like the show, we all liked the show. Like we were in like what I think gave it like an 8, and me and Vinny gave it like a 7. Like we all liked the show, but you guys were really angry and arguing because you're carrying over the fucking Shonen Jump the new big Baby 3 debate.
It's not a real debate. It doesn't exist. Anybody who thinks it's a debate needs to be offed.
I
Needs to
agree,
be
it's not a
removed
real
from this
debate
planet.
because it's not even a fucking competition, which is better between MHA and Black Clover. It's MHA.
Yeah, the answer is Haikyuu. We all.
Well, that's actually fucking true, but you should read the
Yeah,
manga.
there we go. Give it up. Give it up for Haikyuu, everybody.
It's about high school because fucking, you know.
Oh God, no, not again.
See, it was perfect because what sounded like he was kind of in the distance for a second there. So, like, I don't know why that made it
I
funnier.
fell back.
Anyway, so now we are not only discussing the anime, but to give us more to talk about, we have also read the manga. And that was a good move because
Great move.
the manga
Why don't we?
adds things.
Why don't we like say what we're talking about, like specifically, so we can put it on the
Oh,
screen?
yeah. So, Sakamichi no Apollon or Kids on the Slope, the anime by the studio or the manga by the author.
Just.
So, yeah,
does he
they were... Oh, what are we doing next time?
Next
Vindy.
time. Oh.
Oh,
Well, actually,
no, it's your pick.
No, no.
Oh, wait,
no.
it's
When
mine?
they're watching this, they're gonna be seeing. They're gonna be.
Shit.
It's Honey and
That's right,
Clover is
time.
next because
Yeah.
Sakamichi was
Yes,
my pick.
we've already recorded it.
Yeah, we've
Hello,
already
guys.
recorded the next, 2 episodes?
We recorded it. Yeah.
We've recorded the next 2 episodes of the actual Backlog Weeb Club, but
Well, which is funny because with those we recorded with Craig, and with these we are now recording with this new method, so the audio might sound better on this episode. And then they'll watch Honey and
Just
Clover, and the
beware.
audio is like Craig
Just
again.
beware. Just there. It's Honey and Clover, the manga by the mangaka for.
Umino.
Yeah.
oh
For
my goddess, I love
Sangatsu
you.
no Line. Yeah.
She's a genius.
Yeah. There's lollies in it. There's
There's like one. Come
there's
on.
there's
Come on. Come on.
predatory behaviors. It's nice.
Stalkers, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yep,
nice.
grooming.
It's epic.
It's got all the problematic shit.
Craftsdwarf relates to it
Um,
really hard. So does Vindy. And yeah,
I do.
you shouldn't have said that.
Anyway, so let's talk about Sakamichi no Apollon again.
Again.
We're talking about it again.
Well,
Um,
we've calmed down this time, and I think I have like I'm not as hype as I was about it when we first watched it. And
Yeah, well, because I think we both agreed, like, because after the first episode, I was like, is this going to be a favorite? We were both thinking that, but, like, the rest of the show was just good.
I guess what I think about the manga, the exact same thing.
I think it's really interesting. I think this show, more than almost anything else, is a great example of one where I would say it's almost required that you both
do both.
watch the show and read the manga.
Yes.
Because, like, the show's about jazz, right? So there's
Yes.
this huge, like, all the performance scenes of the anime are fucking expertly done, right?
They're phenomenal.
Absolutely. Right.
Everything production-wise that Mappa did is fucking amazing.
Oh,
Every time there's
yes, the
animation,
sound,
the
it looks
sound,
good. The voice actor, the OP.
the normal soundtrack
Ooh,
is
the OP.
great.
Ooh,
It's
Oh god, the OP is so good. Oh my god, the opening is what made me watch this show. I can watch it all the time. Oh my god, the animation. Oh my god, look, and when it bursts out into the chorus. Oh my god. Oh.
But I think that to fit into the 12 episodes it is,
yeah.
it makes a lot of concessions, and it cuts a decent amount from the manga. And I think a lot of the stuff that it does cut from the manga takes away from some of the impact of
Like some of it.
major scenes in the story. And I think that the manga story-wise is a more satisfying experience.
I mean,
Yeah,
I guess.
I would say, like, the manga definitely adds some really important context, and, well, the big issue me and Vindy had with the anime was the ending just kind of ended, and it turns out that's because they cut out, like, the most important aspect of the main character's, like, fucking character arc.
Well, not just that, it cut out some build-up to what happens at the end that I think makes everything that everyone's going through hit harder.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Because I kind of have some things to say about that. Because I'm not gonna lie, I read the manga and I had the exact same feeling as I did with the ending of the original anime, and I was just kind of like, well,
Yeah, but you're stupid and liked the ending of the anime and didn't feel unsatisfied, so...
I felt unsatisfied either way, Vindy.
Well, that's probably because you wanted sex between Bon and
That's
Centauro,
not-
which I wanted too, but, like, sometimes you have to make concessions, right? Like, I'm
Okay,
not gonna get...
viewers.
I'm not gonna
if you're
be
watching
able to
this-
have Lugosi fuck me in the ass,
if
right?
you're- if
So,
you're-
like, I have to make these concessions.
viewer. So we're gonna ignore Vindy for a second, viewers. If you were watching this, just know that Sakamichi no Apollon is actually a yaoi series. It is 100%, even though the context of the story makes it out to be not that case. But because I'm going to be spinning this narrative, it is actually a gay show.
I mean, the
So-
show's pretty gay either way.
I was making a joke about Love Lab, but you just,
You know what?
whatever.
We're not gonna talk about Love Lab. We already talked about Love Lab.
Yeah, go watch that before you watch this. But
Watch all our videos.
Sakamichi no Apollon is pretty gay. Like, half the time you think these boys are gonna fuck, but I think this show is shit because they don't actually fuck. Spoiler alert: these boys don't fuck. What's up with that?
Fucking
They
dropped.
fuck in my mind.
It's a fucking hetero show. Fucking trash. Love Lab was good because it was hetero, but Apollon is bad because it was
It's
hetero.
funny. I was re-listening to some. I think it was at the end of the Anohana episode. It's funny because what actually mentions, like, we're talking about Sakamichi and what mentions that the show's gay, and I made a joke like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to watch it then," and the show's actually gay as fuck.
It's super gay.
Oh, see, I thought you were gonna mention because that episode was funny because, like, in the start of it, you guys talk about, like, the seasonals, but before we had watched the seasonals, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys mentioned that we're watching Babylon. And then we
Babylon.
that
didn't watch
was
Babylon.
funny because we were gonna watch Babylon because you didn't know what you were gonna fucking pick.
Vindy kind of took me out of context. I think the reaction I said when I said no was because when he said that it was Zootopia but better, I was immediately, my first thought in my mind was just furries, and I was like, no furries, and that was all I said. That was all that was in my mind.
Beastars is turning me into a furry, and I can't complain.
Yeah, which is why I'm a little worried that we were watching it because I knew this was gonna happen. I'm a little scared.
And Cautious Hero is turning you into Scaly,
Yes,
so I guess we're this season is just
And MHA is turning me into a
degeneracy
lolicon.
after
I mean,
degeneracy.
what?
Oh shit!
Of all the lollies you could have picked, Vindy, you picked the vulnerable one who's the victim of a parental abuse. You
Yeah.
are a terrible
But if you're not
person.
going for girls with daddy issues, you're not going for the right kinds of girls.
Viewers, someone find this man and stop him,
Look,
please.
okay,
stop
let's
him,
make a
please.
correction
Holy
to
shit.
the previous episode.
Oh no.
Vindy is not the most degenerate on the podcast, but he is the most openly degenerate on the podcast. Very important distinction.
Because it's funny. All right. But,
Is it funny though?
I feel like we barely talked about fucking Sakamichi in the Sakamichi episode.
Well,
What are
because
your general thoughts on the series? Talk about
All
it.
right, so the anime has some of the best visual and sound design that I've seen in anime. It is so good, and that accentuates it when it has the jazz themes, which I think are the highlight of the show, because the whole story is about jazz. So here's the thing: when you compare them, the biggest comparison I can make to the manga, why you should watch both, like we should at least watch both, is that like, yeah, you're getting some more story scenes, but the manga's art isn't that good.
It's a monthly manga, right?
Yeah, and
and see, like the art is fine for a weekly series, but I'm spoiled on monthly series because they have more time to work with it. So
to be fair,
the art is usually like really
Was it
fucking
weekly?
good.
Because I do want to say, if it was weekly,
that's a lot of pages for a weekly
the fact
manga.
that it was like 40 pages for a weekly manga is pretty impressive.
it's monthly.
Here, I'll look it up.
Sorry,
Really
I'm
quick.
gonna
Don't
look-
worry, I'll
It's
look it up.
probably monthly,
Okay,
but,
you got it.
but
To be fair, Land of the Lustrous is also monthly, and it doesn't look that good either.
Well, Land of the Lustrous'
Very
biggest
sad.
problem is it's in black and white, and you can't fucking tell who's who.
yeah. But anyway, the biggest and hugest advantage I think that the anime has over the manga is that the jazz scenes are super emotional.
It was in a monthly manga, by the way. Just
Yeah.
looked up really quick. I'm sorry.
Okay.
They're like the emotional core of the show. And every time there's like a jazz scene in the manga, it literally just shows a picture of them with their instruments, and they go,
Wow, they're playing so good.
and I'm like, wow, they are playing so good. I can tell because they're standing there with their instrument, looking like they're playing it. But then
The wild boy Shinichiro Watanabe, who directed this, he does all these cool little things, these little character movements, and they respond to each other, and the sound's really good. And
it's so good when they start playing the music. Oh god, ooh, it's so good. Like, you literally you have to watch this just for the visuals because it's just so ooh.
Yeah, and I would recommend going in the. I don't know anyone who's obviously like read the manga first and then watched the anime, but like I definitely think anime to manga is
I
better
agree.
because like the anime is good, and you get the music, and then because there's one scene specifically towards the end involving Sentaro, and that I'm not gonna spoil the scene, but like the way that happens in the anime is definitely more
Yeah, it's way
surprising.
better. I think it's way better the way it happened
Right,
in the.
right,
Yeah.
because they show more and leave it, and then where in the manga it just kind of like happens off screen, and then you hear about it, and it's like, oh shit,
Yeah,
like in a different way, but it's like,
yeah, it's definitely like a thing where it's like, I think that if you do anime and then manga, sure, you do miss the musical scenes in the manga, but like that's kind of a concession you make when you read manga anyways. But I think if you go manga to anime, a lot of the story things that are cut out are I can see in my head
Are gonna bother,
losing a lot of
yeah.
these story moments, making the anime kind of lose a lot of its luster. So I would definitely agree. Also, you go anime manga, because then in that way the manga almost accents the story and kind of adds these extra little beats that only help improve the story in a way.
Let's be a little fair though, because like for example, me and Craftsdwarf read the manga for Your Lie in April, and for all of the because like Your Lie in April also has musical scenes, but it also like the way they execute it in the mangas with
beautiful visuals.
something that the manga for this kind of
No,
lacks
I'm not saying
heavily.
that. I mean, I don't think that if you read.
well, to correct myself about like the visuals are fine. Like I don't think there's anything like wrong with the art. It's just like comparing it to the anime, or even like just again my expectation for monthly manga, where again I'm probably spoiled. The art is it's passable. It's fine.
Yeah.
It does the job. But it's not amazing. Where compare that to the anime, where the production is
Right.
amazing and it looks good and it sounds good, feels good. You want to
This is
drink
what
it.
makes it feel real.
Yeah, that's what I would say is that, like, I don't think you can get away with just reading the manga. I really do. And, I'm the manga boy who will just tell everyone to read the manga, and I think that, like, for
Yeah, I know.
Sakamichi, watching the anime is a must, because if you don't, you miss some of the best musical scenes. And just like
Also,
a lot of the story, like a lot of these moments are really good in the anime. It's just that some of them miss some of the story beats that elevate them to be better than they are in the anime when you read the manga.
okay, can I agree? Can you guys agree with me on this though? The first episode of Sakamichi no Apollon is miles better than the first couple chapters of the manga.
I definitely agree.
The first episode of Sakamichi is better than like any episode of the rest of the show.
It's better than most first episodes
I
of
would
most
agree.
anime, honestly.
I mean, I definitely agree. You watch the anime, read the manga, but I think that like
the manga is important, and we'll get into it with spoilers.
Especially
But
if
holy
you
shit,
watch the anime and feel unfulfilled with the ending, like Crafts and I did, because to kind of get into it, originally when we watched the anime, Crafts and I felt really unfulfilled by the ending and unsatisfied, and kind of felt like it just kind of happened and ended. And I think when you read the manga, and especially when you read the extra volume of the manga, like the bonus tracks, everything just kind of ties together a little bit better and is... With the way it ended, I don't feel like I need more. But with the way the anime ended, I did feel like I needed more.
Spoiler alert. If you read the bonus tracks of the manga, the final bonus track is better than the actual ending of the manga. Just saying.
I agree.
Just saying.
But I also think that the final bonus track is supposed to be the end of the manga. Like that epilogue chapter you're talking about? Yeah, I agree totally that that's the best part of the manga. Or that's the better ending than the way the manga ended. But I also think that just on its own, the ending the manga has is better than the ending the anime has, but we can go into that.
I mean, I guess.
I think we can talk about it a little bit in spoilers, but I think it's the kind of the structure of things makes a little bit more sense.
Well, we've talked a lot about differences. We haven't talked about what we like about the thing, like exactly. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna stop talking.
I'm Craftsdwarf because I feel like I've talked a lot too.
Sensoro is a good boy. Kaoru's a good boy. Ritsuko is a good girl.
Wow, you are
See,
terrible.
we already talked about...
Both what and I can't...
We already talked about this.
Stop talking. Okay. If what was that... I think that, like, the core and the best part of the series is the relationship between Sentaro and Kaoru. And the way that they both kind of... Like, my favorite... I think that, like, the most important thing, if you're trying to make a story about friendship, is that you need to show that through, like, the two characters being friends... they slowly become more like the other person, but that's a good thing, right? Because when somebody is constantly covering for your flaws, it helps you realize your flaws and grow as a person. And I think that's something that Sakamichi does really well, especially with Kaoru or Bon, where we see him kind of throughout the series. He sees what Sentaro does better than him, and he's like, wow, like, I need to grow in these areas. And he does grow and improve in these areas, you know? And I think that's something that Sakamichi gets really fucking well, is the way it shows these characters being friends and growing together, especially as the series takes course over all 3 years of high school and beyond. We see them grow into better people because of who they were surrounded by.
Yeah, it's really... Yeah, because Sentaro is like... Their whole relationship between those two is what makes the core of the show. It's really nice to see them be bros. It's almost... I mean, it's more interesting than the romance, I'll tell you that.
Well, the romance is just like he likes her, then he decides to give up on her, and then she likes him because he's given up on her, and then they kind of just both like each other, and then they wait a million years.
Yeah, that was kind of what kept it at a 7 for me, was because of just the whole, like, she thinks this, but he thinks this, but she thinks that. But he thinks it might be like that, like, and it's just kind of like back and forth.
Back on
with that a bit.
I kind of understand. It's like I said, I understand why it happened, right? And the way it is it's just like, it's kind of like the shittiest use of misunderstandings that could happen. I mean, it's like it's all her fault, right? And it's like, but she's never clear on it. And I think it's supposed to be about like her confidence issues, but even after reading the manga, it's not really addressed. I think so.
Right. Well, it's almost just like it becomes like, I hate this word because I think it's overused a lot because people don't understand what it actually means. A good example is our favorite Haikyuu video misuses the word because it doesn't understand what the word actually means. But it definitely is melodramatic a lot in the sense that, like, the only thing keeping them apart is the plot circumstances surrounding it, as opposed to the way they actually feel. Because, quick tip for all you YouTube analysts. If you're going to use the word melodrama, here's what melodrama means. It's a drama that is that's more, like, centered around the actual story beats as opposed to the characters, right? So, a good example would be the friendship isn't a melodrama because a lot of the friendship is based around these two characters and their interactions. the melodrama in this series is the romance, because a lot of times what's keeping them apart is the plot, you know?
Like, okay, a good counterexample to how to do this right, which
Every single one of you should read right now
is Kimi ni Toroke.
I know exactly
Kimi
what
ni
you're
Toroke.
gonna... I knew you...
I love it. I love it so much. Oh god. Okay, Kimi ni Toroke is a story that is entirely based on the people's personalities preventing them from being together. It's not even like the plot. It's like their basic personalities and the way they believe and the things they believe and the way they act are preventing them from getting closer to each other, which is the whole point of the story, and it's beautiful. But this one, it's like Richan doesn't get enough to be like to have that kind of believable, but like you get it for Kaoru, because Kaoru his whole life everybody around him like you know, he's so used to being in that cage, right? Being like everybody's expecting things of him and not really wanting to talk to him, right? It's understandable for Sentaro, because Sentaro, again, he also faced similar things. And then you get to Richan and you're like, what?
Yeah, but I do
What
want
made you
to
this
make the
way?
distinction that just because something is melodramatic doesn't mean it's necessarily bad, right? Like, you can have good melodrama and you can have bad melodrama. The problem is people like to use melodrama as a term for bad, or just like to misuse the term when they don't understand what it actually stands for.
That goes for so many of these kind of terms. Like,
buzzwords.
Deus Ex Machina is not bad. It was not... the term was not like you know to describe something bad. Character
because
or
people are so
plot driven as opposed to character driven. Like
they're
they
just stupid. They don't understand that things are the way they are on purpose sometimes. And you're like, this is melodramatic, like this when show I do.
Crafts, you
like,
love to
and
make
because
this
it happened
distinction
there,
a
it's
lot
bad.
when people talk about realistic characters. And if you know what I'm talking about, I want you to go because I think you phrase it better than I could.
yeah. I think
Yeah, okay, but dialogue. But I think those
well,
are kind of
most I
because
remember
characters
talking
are
about,
a lot of
realistic,
times
like,
formed.
dialogue.
Yeah.
Similar. Because fictional characters have to make sense, and dialogue has to be understandable and clear. Real characters and real people and dialogue don't make, like, they're stupid and nonsensical, and just, if you want to see realistic dialogue, pop up in an episode of Weeb Club and listen to us ramble on and scream over each other and jump from talking
even
point
then
and
it's
like
edited.
go on weird tangents and it's just it's nonsense, that's realistic dialogue.
off.
It doesn't work in a story.
Oh, that's so old. That image is so old.
I
Stop
just
it.
saw it and I posted it.
Fucking boomer. Jump force.
So I guess your point to bring it up was that's another thing. People say, "Oh, realistic is good," when it's not really that realistic when you think about it.
I
And
love
B,
the point you
why is
made.
realistic
You
to
made.
something
I know
good
you
when
made it once or
if
twice,
it's real,
and
it sucks.
I like it. I think it's really good. Like you said that like characters in media inherently aren't realistic because they have. First of all, they have to reach a goal, but also like, they're not real people. They inherently aren't realistic, and they shouldn't be realistic, but they should be more believable. And I think that that's another term where people are like, "Oh, this dialogue's not realistic."
Right.
And what matters more is that it's believable, but people like to use realistic as a term, and I think it's a good example. And it's like, yeah, like a good point that you make.
Verisimilitude.
Yes, that's basically that's that video I made a lot where everyone's focused on realism instead of verisimilitude. It's not.
For those of you who have film degrees, verisimilitude is the thing they teach you on day one of script writing or in like film theory. They teach you that. If you
I'm a film
studied
student, so
film
my opinion on
theory.
anime matters
if
more.
You actually are students of film theory.
Oh wow. You gonna talk about Hoshigaraki's revolutionary villain now?
God,
Wow.
we're so mean.
We're so mean.
I was
Honestly,
gonna say,
like,
I
we're
don't
just
think
so
it's like
fucking
we're mean,
vitriolic.
but
Well,
like
it's
I
not
think they
our
deserve
fault.
it.
Everyone's so
We're not
fucking
stupid,
stupid,
we're just-
except for
well,
us, and also especially us.
Okay, we're stupid, but we're not stupid in the same way that they are, right? We're also just degenerate, so nobody likes us, as opposed to, I like to make the most bare bones analysis and call up my analysis channel because I like to feel smarter than I am.
Well, I know you're gonna do this video on the community and its relation to the people that get shit on for representing that community, but these people came from somewhere, and like
Do you want me to tell you where they all
somehow,
came
for
from?
as dumb as some of these analysis tubers can be,
It's the
the
worst website
commenters
on the
are
internet,
still
Reddit.
stupider.
They all come from Reddit, and they're all terrible because
Where?
Reddit's about.
Yeah.
I'll go into it another time. Not now. Should we move into spoilers?
Well, we should.
Yeah, I
probably
was
talk
thinking we
more
should move
about
into spoilers
this, like,
soon.
Like some other things. Basically, it's like, are there any? Is there anything else really? I'm trying to think.
I mean, we can just say like
Well,
I
the issue
I
is,
like
we already
both
exhausted
a
the
decent
talking
amount,
points,
right?
I
And
think,
Crafts, I
like,
assume you do
so,
too.
like, we already settled on aspects.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
if
gave
we're
the
gonna get
anime a
I give
7,
the
and I'd
anime
give the
7
manga a
as
6, and I'd
Bebop.
recommend both.
Well, I'm probably
really?
gonna give them
Whoa.
like the same level of
Yeah,
score.
it's hard.
just
I mean,
don't
I
know
think they're
which
really
is- which
similar.
is
I
which.
just think that like the manga
I
hit
don't
me
know.
harder.
I'm probably,
Like I think the anime is probably a better experience like to get through, but I think that the manga hits me harder emotionally because when I get some of this
Overall,
extra
yeah.
backstory that's needed and these extra chapters and moments, I think it just harder emotionally.
I'm
See,
the opposite.
well, I'll also say that I read the manga really quickly
Yeah.
because I kind of like I was like, oh, I just watched this, so I
Which is
just say
fair.
that.
I just remember the anime being more emotional to me than the manga, the way the manga executes it.
that because there's the one moment that made me cry
I
really
mean, that's
hard
fair.
in the
I
anime.
completely
I
understand,
cried
like,
only
in
a
the
little
anime,
bit in
I
the
think I
manga.
bring
For me,
so-
some of the
manga,
plot
I was kind of
beats matter a little bit more.
Sad.
Yeah, you know, like, I think art is
Spoilers!
just an expression of the artist behind it, and
Okay,
Okay,
so
we're moving to
I need to
spoilers.
take
It.
that.
Spoilers, everybody. Woo!
Wait, Krause, did you say you needed to go
Matsuoka
I'm gonna get water,
actively makes me want to shoot myself.
No.
Is it
I
just
want
me, or
what
is
to
every
talk.
time-
Just go what solo podcast. We're gonna be
Yeah, I'm
back.
gonna get water, so let's just
No,
take a
I'm gonna
quick
keep
5.
talking to the audience. Hello. So, all right. So, everybody, if you're listening to this right now, this podcast is a fucking travesty. It's so fucking terrible. I have the 2 worst hosts of all time. Nunmanji, keep this in. These 2 are so terrible. They're like actually. I don't even know why I'm friends with them. I only keep them around for clout and like for like to pretend I have people who I actually like. I don't like any of them. Vindy, he scares me. I think he's gonna start touching little dogs, touching little dog pee, and I'm a little bothered by that. And I think I'm gonna see him. I'm gonna see him at AX. He's gonna be holding a little puppy. He's gonna be like wiggle wagging his little dog dick, and I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared that might happen. And then there's Craftsdwarf. He hasn't revealed all what his fetishes are yet. And I'm a little scared of what he might reveal. I don't know what's hidden in his fucking closet and what he might be hiding in there. The thought terrifies me. The thought terrifies me of being trapped in a room with these sickos, these degenerates, these. Oh hey, how you doing? Hey.
Suck my dick with what?
No. Hey, what do you think about
You know
Vindy?
you want to. He is a monster hunting friend.
Be honest. What do you think of Vindy?
Well, he actually plays video games with me, unlike you, who's too afraid of Seraphic Blue.
I don't want to
You
play
fucking
Scrap.
coward.
Don't even say that to me. Don't even say that name to me, Craftsdwarf. Don't even say that. Don't,
Say what name?
Don't say that name to me, Craftsdwarf. You know. Oh. God.
Okay.
God.
Don't you want to see what happens to Deku from My
I'm
Hero
more concerned
Academia?
about the fact that
Craftsdwarf
Crusher
back yet?
J liked a tweet that says "just had sex with my sister."
Oh.
Yeah, we were just talking about
Who?
how you, Crusher J liked this tweet that said "just had sex with my sister."
Look, there have been so many times where I've liked or retweeted
I mean,
a tweet.
it's got a
because
cute
I liked the
Megumin face.
picture,
That's like enough
and then
for a like right
realized
there.
I didn't
Who cares
agree
about
with
the
the
context?
actual like thing, and either I unretweet it or I just keep it up, and I'm like, that picture was good enough. Yeah, but like that's a lot of work, and I don't care
Well,
enough
what you
about
do
my
is you
Twitter
find
to
the
do
source
that
of the
because nobody
picture, and then
follows
you just
me or
tweet the
cares about me,
picture. With the source.
but- Okay. Have you talked? Yeah. Talk about the. I'll just jump.
Very sad.
Talk about it.
Anyway,
Okay, yeah. So
So
that
the manga,
was that what you knew we were talking about? What, or were you thinking about it when you were talking
there was a
about
black man in the manga.
a momentless sin having way more kind of weight?
There's a bunch of them, namely every single jazz
There's-
scene.
yeah.
But one of the moments that stick out to me is like in the anime, what happens at the very end, at the last episode, is that all we see is like these kids all these kids playing on the hill. Like we don't even see Sentaro's face until he walks into the church, and then they start playing together. And it's this cool ass emotional moment they're playing, and it's like they're finally interacting for the first time, because if they saw each other, they wouldn't interact with words. They would interact with the way they interact
with the manga
every single other time, which is with jazz.
Okay.
Right.
Sorry.
And it was just cool. No. So this is
Right.
in the anime. They play it, blah blah blah. Like, and it's this cool little moment, and then it ends with them running down the slope. The anime does this by introducing the chapter with Sentaro, and this is the thing that I don't like about the mangas. It's very talky. I guess they talk about everything instead of letting you see it, because they don't have the ability to make the visuals look good. And it's just so like this whole scene was just them talking. Sentaro was like, "Yeah, haha, I'm taking care of the kids," and then the piano starts playing, and then the scene is cool because
I like the manga more.
He's like, "Oh, we gotta go."
Because I think that like,
we gotta go.
If I describe why I liked it in the manga more, it would be that like Karu, like Bon knows that Sentaro's on the island when he goes there, right? He sees the picture, knows who it is, right? And we, as the viewer, know who it is immediately. So we've already seen Bon's reaction to finding out that he's there, right? So like his stuff doesn't matter as much, I feel, because like we already know what he knows. But I think seeing it from Sentaro's perspective, where he's just living his daily life, and all of a sudden he hears some fucking guy playing Monin in the church and immediately knows who it is, kind of drives it home harder, because like with Bon, we see that he knows Sin's there and he's playing it to try to draw him out, right? Like when you fucking lay out a rat trap, right? Like when you put out naked pictures of Haru, for me, is a rat trap, you know what I mean? And so I think that like it works really well, where it's like we get to see both of them react to the acknowledgement of the other for the first time in years.
Well, like, because I like it better in the anime because it's only that. It's only like there's no talking really when it happens. It's only the music, and they let the music speak for itself. And I'm like, that's some cool shit.
See, yeah, I guess like an ideal consolidation would have been in the anime, just have it go from Sen's perspective, but then like not have Kaoru go into like just have him like no words, just have him with the kids, and then because they already said it about like Kaoru like, oh, you'd be good with like, because that's what I like the bonus track chapter where we see how Sentaro got to that position where he's like playing music with the girl who had trauma and she wouldn't speak and that was a good chapter. So that was good to see after the fact, but I
think the ending is almost a perfect.
I kind of see the
microcosm
of, like,
of how we all feel about
there's
it.
Good
there's great aspects to both, and that like I actually think the perfect way to do this story would have been an anime that had 3 or 4 more episodes and had time to just adapt everything. I don't think you could have fit it all in one.
Maybe one. Just one, just to adapt the important parts from the.
To be fair, the way.
I mean, just the important parts.
I like the Eureka one. The dad one I thought was a little bit less.
Like some of the bonus track chapters, like the Eureka one or the one with the dad, like those. They're good, but did they need to be in the story?
Eureka's, some of them are just good. They're like, aha, that's nice. That's epic, bro. And I'm like, okay, I could live without that.
Right.
That's what I felt most of the time throughout some of these chapters. I was kind of like, I could live without this. I could live without seeing this. I mean, like, it's good, it's nice, but I'm like, I could live without it. Which is like, and also mostly because, these pages are like 40 fucking these chapters are like 40 fucking pages, but most of them are just talking. And I'm like, I just don't like how, like, because that's the biggest thing that sets the anime a little over the edge, like, higher than the mangas, because they just fucking talk. It's like opposite Boku no Hero problem, where it's like the anime adds more talking. Like this anime for Sakamichi and Apollon removes most of it and makes a lot of it just visual. And I like that a lot because it's taking advantage of the medium. I'm like, I don't want to see the fuckers talk. I just want to.
And I definitely agree and like understand with what you're saying about it's really talky.
Like, I don't care.
I just like. Because when we finished it, I almost wish we had some of the audio from the first time we finished it. Because, like, the first time we finished it, a majority of our, the biggest thing that, like, filled me, like, emotion-wise was, like, I felt like I needed more. And, like, I almost think now that the more isn't even just at the ending, right? I don't know if you talked about it yet, Crafts, but like there's.
We talked about it a little because like there's other like
Right.
I think there was another line with Kaoru, but like one thing they go into more with was with the it was Kaoru's mom being illiterate.
Yeah.
Where like so on Kaoru's side you have this whole classism angle, and on Sentaro's that was a big one was the jazz the racist, because in the anime he's like, oh,
Dun's gonna be mad.
Coon music jazz,
Uh-oh,
get
he
it,
said
shut
it.
up.
Oh, no.
And I said it, yeah. And Sentaro reacts negatively, and like you could read it in a way where it's like he just hates
Right.
he just hates that jazz is because jazz is how he expresses his emotions. He loves jazz. In a way, like that ties into his character because he's half foreigner, so obviously race is important to him, and he was taught the drums by a black man. And because the guy, the racist guy in the manga actually says like, no, don't play black jazz, play white jazz.
I
like,
think just
it highlights
that
the race aspect to it more.
Of,
It does. He does.
yeah, with
maybe
with
I
the
don't
guy who
remember.
taught him
See,
drums,
I think I
makes
don't
that
remember the black part.
area makes that lose so much.
But
And
even
I don't
just-
know
yes,
which
with
one,
Ray,
Matt,
the,
to you
drummer,
what is more,
like-
but to me the big moment was there's a moment near the end, right, when they're prepping. So it's when Sentaro's dad is coming back. He is like, he decides I can't be here, you know what I mean, with my dad because of the troubled past, right? And so he sends off this messenger bird. And in the anime, the way it's resolved is it just kind of shows he's begrudgingly there when his dad shows up, and his dad gives him the fountain pen, which is still a great moment. But in the anime, what it shows is in the manga, he tries to leave, and Sentaro stops him, and they have an actual fist fight. Kaoru stops him,
Or in the manga.
I don't remember the fist fight in the anime. Did it actually happen?
Wait, that happened.
Or
in
maybe
the
I'm
anime.
stupid.
Kaoru,
You know
yeah.
what?
That
I'm just
happened in the
dumb.
anime, though. That happened in the anime.
Well, I was talking to Cross about it, and he agreed with me. But you know what? It's fine.
Yeah, that would be a comment.
I don't remember a fist fight either, but I guess it did happen.
But the one I was talking about, that's
I know. I remember it vividly.
I don't
happened.
remember
It
the
happened.
fist. I was trying.
It did happen because that's why
Okay,
he
no,
went with
look, I completely
Richan
believe
and,
you.
like,
I just didn't
had the whole
remember
moment
it.
where he was laying on
And
her
I
shoulder
remember being like,
because
huh,
he
that's
got
kinda
injured
weird
and she
that,
was
like-
helping him.
But
like, clean
I
up.
was also, yeah, so maybe that happened. But I think that's definitely a big... I definitely didn't agree with you in the Black Man. Well, I'm also on my, like, third year, and, like, I've had, like, six
boomers
I just
losing
went through
their
the manga
memory,
fast, so.
Jesus.
Well, anyway, so I was gonna say the probably the most important part that for me at least that the anime cut out was
Oh my god.
at the end when Kaoru is talking about how he's just choosing to live freely, and he's coming to Kyushu to live to be at this
Yeah.
hospital. And because like that's the thing about the anime ending is like he just sort of like that's supposed to be his low point, him going back, I'm just gonna do what my family tells me, and the anime doesn't really resolve that. He just plays music and he runs into each other and okay, and me and Vinny were just like, okay, that happened, and like obviously when you see what happens in the manga, like, oh, okay, there's the ending to his fucking character arc.
The anime also
what
cuts
were you gonna
out
say,
the
what?
fucking like this part with his mom, where his mom is singing the song, because you don't see the mom anymore at the end after her episode in the anime. Like you see her again, and she's singing the song that Kaoru loves, and he starts fucking crying. And then there's the part where, okay, I don't remember this being in the end of the episode. And I think
No,
it might
that
have been like
definitely
a single
wasn't.
picture they took out. But when he
Because
takes out the
in the
bag,
anime,
and
it
all
literally
the
cuts
pictures
from
of
he
Sentinel
leaves
fall
on the
his
train.
face.
It hard cuts to him being
No,
a doctor.
I think he only,
I remember
in the
that
anime,
because it skips all of the college shit, and I think the college shit and that scene with his mom and him trying to continue jazz, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't feel the same. And he's still looking for Sentaro even when he meets up with June, and his correspondence with Richan. I think it all just like adds to the because at the end of the day, if you really want to look at it, Kaoru is like if you had to pick a sole protagonist in Sakamichi, I think it is Kaoru because a majority of it hinges around his development. Right.
Well, he's
Right.
the,
He
yeah,
is
yeah,
the protagonist.
yeah.
And-
I mean, the series starts from his perspective as he answers, and then he meets Sentaro. He meets Richan. Like that's the start of the story, him, and then when the story
Right,
cuts
that's what I
away,
was-
it
yeah,
goes
that's
to
what- that's the
Kaoru
point
at the
I'm trying to
hospital.
make.
Like,
And,
I
I think
definitely
that,
say he's the singular.
The
man if you
whole
wanna
of his arc
go
is
for a
incomplete
singular
in the
man,
anime,
yeah.
right? Because you do have his whole journey with friendship and kind of learning to be friends with other people, but you miss the entire thing of him trying to find his own path and break away because it does all of the setup for his family putting these expectations on him, but you never get the payoff in the anime of him breaking off and deciding to forge his own path and go to Kyushu. He ends up with Richan. He's still playing jazz. Yeah.
Right. Like, yeah, he surpassed, he goes beyond the classes stuff, and, that's, which was something, again, highlighted more in the manga. Like, yeah,
You know
it's super
wasn't
important.
resolved that you guys
And
mentioned?
anyway.
I will look.
Was
I
Richan
saved-
singing at the end of the manga? Was she really? Because like,
So first of all,
I mean, it might have shown
was
it,
she?
but I was
What
kind of
did-
like,
I didn't hear what
performance
said.
singing, and I was like, oh,
Okay, so
okay.
this is what I was saying when I said I like the original ending of the manga better. So the way that the ending works in the manga is, instead of them all meeting at the same time, Karu meets Sentaro, and then later they meet up with the dad and Richan at Sachiko's wedding, right? And when they're playing at Sachiko's wedding, there's a spread of Karu, the dad, Richan, and Sentaro all going, right? And so it's obviously Karu on piano, Sentaro on drums, the dad on cello, and Ritsuko singing. But at the very end, when it shows them going, she's not singing, right? When they're there with June, she's not singing, but that's because instead they're using her for the fucking best part of the manga, which is the once you're here, you can join into Everyone is Waiting. Oh my god. Like the last 2 pages.
Yeah, that was a better ending.
Oh, that was a
the
really
better
cute,
ending.
like, argument
Yeah.
where they're, like,
So she
arguing
does
about what
sing
the
at
child
one
should
point.
play, and then
She
she's like,
sings
saxophone, and
technically
they're
for
just like,
the end of the manga, but she doesn't sing in the epilogue chapter.
You know what that makes me realize is that she actively is like the worst part.
Yeah,
of the
I would agree
story.
with that.
I wouldn't say worst. I'd say least good, because I don't think she's
Right.
No,
bad.
she's not bad.
Well,
and worst
look,
kind
I'm
of
sorry,
worst
what?
kind of
But we're
implies
not all
bad.
autistic
So
like
I know
you
what
and
you're
Mr.
saying. I know what
Cynical,
you meant.
and
I just wanted
words,
to kind of rephrase
words
what
have
you
a
said.
connotation that you have to be cognizant of when you talk in a large sense.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Hold on.
Look, listen. Vindy,
I
you
might
are
want
not the
Lugosi.
person
I
we
might
should be
wanna
talking
suck
about
Lugosi's Big Red
autism.
Rocket.
No one in this room has the right to call other people autistic.
Hold on. I understand.
Look,
what
you just
fucking,
posted this picture of Guy
what's the word? I
Fieri,
just forgot
and
it.
you're
I just
telling
used
me
it.
that I'm autistic.
I don't even remember. Connotation. Not Lugosi Wolf Dick. That's a different topic for another day. Connotation. I understand what connotation
Fucking
is.
boomer.
You're like,
Posted a
oh, this
picture of
good
Guy
character is the
Fieri.
worst part of this
That was the
manga.
word.
But like, it's
Look, you stop it right now. Viewers. Vindy just took the time out for no reason. Out of his like fucking fever dream, and posted a picture of Mr. Incredible, but he's Guy Fieri with an F instead of an I. And I'm struggling to figure out why.
Fieri Plus.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused right now. I don't
Like, if you're not following
I
Guy
am-
Fieri on Twitter, you're doing yourself a disservice.
I hate you. No. I know
Which
who's the
one's
worst.
Matsuoka?
I know who's the worst. Actually, no. Now I know who's the worst character of the story. It's Matsuoka. Can we throw Matsuoka into a fucking pit so he can stop existing?
I'm like, who the
one
fuck
who
is
just
Matsuoka?
the one who's like when I watch the anime,
Oh,
he's the only one
Beatles
who,
kid,
like, whose
yeah.
art
Wow, oh
He's the
my
only
God.
one whose art style
Okay,
does
let's
not
talk
match
about this
everybody
difference
else's
between
for
this
some reason,
boomer
in my mind at least.
and me of
Oh, he's
responding.
the
I called him
fruit
Beatles
basket.
What did
Shithead,
Craftsdwarf call him?
Set him on fire.
Fruit basket? Hello? Craftsdwarf called him a fruit basket. And I called him a Beatles kid. Oh my god.
What did he call him?
I thought it was funny.
Well, I'm gonna just skirt around that. Also ignore the fact that you posted another picture of Guy Fieri, but this time it's from Fortnite, and the background says Flavor Town. We're gonna ignore that, alright? We're gonna ignore that, alright?
I mean, you're doing the opposite of
But
ignoring
anyway,
that, but okay.
like I was saying, Matsuoka comes in the scene, he's like, nah, what are you on? The Beatles, rock. I'm like, shut up. Every time he's on screen, I know sometimes it's like The part where he's like interacting with Sentaro is like character development. But also I'm like, shut up, go away, shut up, stop existing, shut up, please. Ooh, it's really not enjoyable when he's around. Wait, I'm so mad that picture of Guy Fieri, Mr. Incredible, it doesn't even finish up.
Yeah,
The
same
red
guy
just
did that
cuts
one
off.
thumbnail.
No, is that the
Before I
belt?
talk about it.
I can't even tell because it's just such a shitty edit. Who did that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that it really just comes down to like. Sorry, I have burps. The anime's good, right? And it's really good. But I think the manga has some stuff. Like, I think my favorite extra chapter, honestly, isn't even the epilogue chapter. It's the chapter about Sentaro.
That's because I was trying to because when talking about the whole ending, like I was thinking like that would be a really good one to adapt because it's so good. That and the epilogue, I would say if you're gonna if we're gonna do a hypothetical perfect anime adaptation, it wouldn't be.
I think it would take 2 more episodes.
It would be longer than one course, so it would
I think
but it would include those for sure, or at least parts of them.
Yeah, two.
I agree. But
you could cut
I definitely
down
think
on,
there's
one
like a
of the
level
other
where it's
episodes.
like,
There's
yeah,
one of
like
the other episodes just
there's
kind of, like,
stuff
is a little
that
talky.
they skipped out on
So just
that I think if they had just shown, right? If they had just shown Sentaro talking about this, African American gentleman. I'll be the PC one on the podcast, which I should. Okay, yeah. If they had shown Nunmanji, Grookey, teaching him to play the drums, that would have been better.
But he was Japanese,
right? If they had shown,
he was in Japan.
I really do think. I don't know if you agree that the structure of even just up to the manga ending, where it's just Karu and Sentaro at first, they see Ritsuko later, is stronger than the way it was originally. Where Ritsuko just shows up out of nowhere. Haha, she's here now, guys.
Well, I just think.
No, because the reason that she's there isn't because the guy isn't. She's there because look, the guy in her room was dumb. I agree.
Sorry,
but,
man. A guy.
No, I agree that was dumb, but I
like,
think that it makes
wow,
more
that's the resolution
sense
of that.
because she would have never. So Karu would have never told her first. Like he didn't have time
was
to,
so dumb, I hated
especially in
it.
the anime where it doesn't show that they kept up correspondence. But Eureka only saw Karu because they're in Tokyo together, so it completely makes sense that then, like now all of a sudden, when they go back to the hometown and Sentaro is wedding his sister, that now she shows up, right? Like, that was, like, kind of my problem with her showing up. Is like, how is she here? Did someone tell her? And it leaves these questions about how she knew. But in the anime, it's kind of all explained through making sense. You're going to make me mad again. Shut the fuck up.
Not really.
I was going to finish this podcast soon. Just fucking, look.
This is unrealistic.
Pokemon
How
opens
was
in
she
15
able
minutes.
To get there?
I want to play it.
Is this some kind of magic bird?
Good. No, you know what? Here's the last thing I want to say about. Here's the one thing I want to say about.
Is that
about,
your way of saying what I would
about
say just
fucking
outright,
Sakamichi
which is
on
I
Apollon,
want
right?
Sentaro to fuck me in the ass?
I want to say, big men fucking
All right,
hot
cool.
fucking with men.
So
over.
what we learned here is that, well, I might be autistic and want everyone to fuck me. At least I'm honest about it.
Double sexy
Well, what
daddy.
tries
fuck
to say
yeah.
double sexy daddy, fuck yeah, instead of. Actually, I am reading what's on the screen right now. I assume it's Call Me Carson because that's the only person you watch anymore. But it
You're
says
not
double
even
sexy
reading what's
daddy,
on the
fuck yeah.
You're not even
instead
reading
of
what's on the screen right now.
his way of saying I want Sentaro
It's fucking
to shove his
funny.
dick up my ass.
Jay Schlatt and Colin Carson. That's not. I also just wanted to say, I really also just wanted to say, participation in
I
big
hate
men
this
fucking
man.
hot fucking
And
with
the
men
worst
all
part
over
is I
verse
can't even
way,
say
hand
cut him
fun,
out
haha.
because he's the
Wahoo!
end.
Give me a again.
See,
I can't even
if
say
we
none.
mute
Cut
What
what
in
out. He's
Discord,
stupid
his
because
mic
guess who's
is
editing
still
at the
picking
end
up
of the
his
day.
audio.
So sad.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you think I'm naming my Grookey after him in fucking and Sword and Shield?
Because we have no guarantee that Nun's
Thursday.
actually gonna fucking edit it.
Did I pay him for Sakamichi already? No, I only
Well,
paid
in
him for
fact,
the
this
seasonal
one needs
episode.
to
he
go up
edited.
like
Yeah,
next
so he has no
Wednesday.
He also
so
Vindy also paid him for it, I think, so he has no choice.
I think
yeah, you did.
both are real. Oh.
Well, whatever. Either way, he has to edit it. Anyway, final thoughts. Vinny can go first. Actually, no. I think the order is Craftsdwarf, Vindy, and then me.
there was an order. So yeah, I already said my scores. I gave the anime a 7. It's still a 7 because it's really well produced. It was really enjoyable, even if there were some weird parts because adaptation induced. Like okay. The manga fills in those, even if as an experience reading it wasn't quite as enjoyable to me, just because it's like I kind of sped through it and like I literally just watched it, and I wasn't as invested in it to like pay attention and like try and notice all the things that weren't like that I didn't notice before. I was just kind of reading it because shit, I got the Weeb Club and I got other things to do this week. It was good.
So,
I enjoyed both of them. Or did I say I gave the manga 6?
Someone who constantly,
they're both good.
God.
Watch it and then read it.
That Alexander tweet was a
That's-
shitpost, but
yeah.
it's he said something along
Who's
the lines
next?
of like,
I forgot what just said
manga people only read manga to say, the anime people don't know what's coming next. And I think that like, if you want to see the perfect microcosm of the benefits that both anime and manga can provide to a story, I think Sakamichi is great because it's a one core anime and it's a 10-volume manga because I would just consider it 10 volumes because I think the bonus chapters are fucking required. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you can skip the bonus chapters and say you read Sakamichi. And I think that, like, it's the perfect example of the benefits, some of the benefits, right? Obviously, the one thing that is different is I think that the art is generally better in the anime. But outside of that, I think it's, like, the perfect example of a time where you get to see some of the benefits that a manga can provide to a story and some of the benefits that an anime can provide to a story, So I think that this is a time where both are required to kind of understand the story. And I would give the anime a 7 and the manga an 8. Your turn. What the what?
Am I cutting out again? I'm cutting out again. Oh wait, I'm back. Anyway,
I respect that though. I completely understand.
As in regards to me,
maybe it's not because I'm mad at you right now, but I completely understand your viewpoint.
Probably like and the manga 7, because I'm like,
not my fault that I can actually read.
Yeah.
I do think it's
Unlike
kind of funny that
99%
manga,
of
like
anime
scores are like
viewers.
sequential. I gave it a 6. What a 7 and Vindy an 8.
wow, it's crazy, man. Okay, whatever you say. And if I had to just describe Sakamichi no Apollon, like if I had to, I would honestly just I would say, big man fucking hot,
So what that
fucking
means is-
with man all over, double sexy daddy, fuck
What
yeah,
sucks?
derived from
Thank you
Duking
for watching
daddy.
the Weeb
Hey
Club.
man, it's been a while. I've been I've been big man fucking hot, fucking with men all over.
That is weird. Yeah.
Make sure you tune in next time for Honey and Clover.
Which we already talked
Yeah,
about.
but they
Oh.
haven't seen that yet. So
If Nunmanji is a real audio wizard, he could have salvaged the episode.
Like, it's already edited. I've already re-listened to the episode.
Nunmanji,
What
fuck
fault
you,
is
but
it?
also I love you. But fuck you.
Nunmanji.
Well, that's because that's because I made him my starter, my black and
Honestly,
white Nuzlocke, so I had to do it in Sword and Shield, right? It's definitely not a race thing at all.
You made him a monkey.
All right. Thank you guys for watching.
Oh.
Thank you guys for watching.